Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, in the part 2 of your fashion apparel retail space, we are going to be covering two companies. One is Brainbees Solution and the other one is Vishal Mega Mart Limited. Okay. In the first video we've covered, in a separate video we've covered V2 retail, and in the second part of the video we did Bazaar Style Retail, V Mart and Trent Limited, right? We did that yesterday. And in today's video we'll do Brainbees and Vishal Mega Mart Limited. Okay. So first let us again, before I go ahead, right, if you want to understand the business model in depth for both Brainbees as well as Vishal Mega Mart, I've covered it in depth. You can just go to my YouTube channel business analysis playlist and you'll find it over there. Okay, now let us just understand the business model very quickly, and let's go jump into the Q3 ka numbers and updates. Okay, so first of all, let us talk about Brainbees. Now, when you look at Brainbees, they have two operations, okay, or two segments in their business. One segment is called as FirstCry, through which this brand called FirstCry, they sell all these kids clothes, kids especially aging from 0 years to 14 years of age, whatever the clothes, books, the trolleys you need for the kids to carry around, the carriages, all kind of clothes, accessories, everything and anything a kid and a expecting mother needs, right? They cater to that in this brand called FirstCry. Okay, now even in this FirstCry, there are two operations. One is India operation and the international sales operation. Okay, the second part of the business, or the second segment of their revenue, comes from comes from their another company called as Global Bees, which is another of the subsidiary. Now यहाँ पे Global Bees में क्या होता है? Now you might see, right, there are so many startups that are emerging. Now these startups might need help, not just in terms of funding, but also to provide them, this Brainbees क्या करता है? They provide them with a platform, they provide them with a guidance. So let's say for that startup, for everything from the start to till the end, the entire value chain that can be provided to them, whatever kind of help can be provided to them, right, they will do so. Okay, so these are the two categories, but you need to understand that 70% of the sales that are there, that comes from FirstCry India itself. Okay, FirstCry ka, like I told you, two are there, India sales and international sales. It comes from this India sales only. Okay, so I hope the business model of this Brainbees solution that is there, it is, you can understand that. Okay, now if you look at this Brainbees solution, it was a very I would say it is a good 25% growth engine. They were able to grow in that rate only. But having said that, since this is a startup, right, it is the same likes in the likes of same like Zomato and Swiggy, that kind of a startup they are. So यहाँ पे क्या होते हैं, they were always burning the cash over here. It has still been a burn business only. But over the period of time, especially the last 2 quarters that we see, we are seeing that the losses that are there, the losses are narrowing. Okay, so it was a good start. But having said that, ना यहाँ पे इस बार क्या हुआ है, which was like a good 25% का growth engine, losses narrow हो रहा है. अभी क्या हुआ, growth rate कम हो रहा है, and along with that the losses are narrowing. ठीक है, so obviously ना, I would need as a business, you would need a business that is not just growing at a high pace, but also इसका operating leverage है, या if it is a startup you would see that उसका losses कम होके it is getting better. What you do not want is like growth coming, you would want to achieve profitability but at the cost of growth. At the same time, you shouldn't also target a company जिसका growth के वजह से profitability is coming, profitability is coming at a cost of growth. Okay, so over here if you look at it, the sales that is there on a consolidated basis, that is if I combine both FirstCry as well as Global Bees, if you look at it, sales grew by 14%, and PAT that is there, PAT is at a negative, or you can say it is loss of 15 crore is in Q3. Last Q3 में it was a loss of 48 crore. So now you understand what I was trying to tell you, losses अभी narrow हो रहा है. ठीक है, so this is one thing. Now let us go into the separate thing like FirstCry India, FirstCry International, and वो Global Bees में क्या हो रहा है. ठीक है, फर्स्ट थिंग फर्स्ट, अगर आप FirstCry इंडिया में देखते हो, सेल्स इज अप बाय 15%. अगर आप उनको ऑर्डर्स देखते हो, ऑर्डर्स इज अप बाय 13%, एंड ग्रॉस मर्चेंडाइज वैल्यू विच इज GMV, विच इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ बोथ वैल्यू एज वेल एज वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ, दैट इज अप बाय 13%. ठीक है, सो over here one thing you can see, right, the FirstCry का sales earlier, whether it used to be India or an international का thing, consolidated में they would grow around 20 to 25%, in that range it used to be. Now the growth rate has come down, right, like about 20% का engine से 13% का engine हो गया. And why is that the case, especially considering कि like the OND months that we call October, November, December is one of the strongest months, right? So what has been the case? A couple of reasons, right? One, a lot of the festivities that were there, it was preponed, right, into the early weeks of October. Last time Q3 अगर आप देखते हो, most festivals were either in the latter weeks of October or the earlier weeks of November. This time it has been preponed to the earlier weeks of October. So अगर आप October में festival है, you will buy the clothes in September ना, which is the month of Q2. So this was one of the reason why the sales got clocked most in Q2 compared to Q3. That is one of the reason. The second thing over here, the second reason is, if you look at it, OND months are another reason why it is stronger season, not just because of festivities. Another reason is unka, like the winter wear clothes that are there, na, that contributes more towards the revenue. Now winter wear clothes mein kya hote, since it is made up of this woolen material and all, the margins over here are higher. This time what happened, winter wear also, winter got delayed, right? We saw winter came a little bit late this time. As a result kya hua, this winter ka sales also didn't pick up that greatly. Now here is the thing, what did I tell? FirstCry is mainly catering into children, right? 0 to 14 years of old. Now children keep growing over here, right? Unlike an adult. An adult just gains weight, but children kya hote? They keep developing, right, over a period of time. So what happens is, not necessarily कि like जो आपका mummy or daddy ने जो आपका कपड़ा खरीदा last year, it might not necessarily fit them even this year, because children are in a constant stage of developing, right? So what happens, winter ka sales always is great. OND months are always greater because winter ka यहाँ पे portion जो है, the clothes का portion are always, every time there will be a purchase, even from a repeated customer also. I explained you the reason why. Now since the winter was late, obviously no parent was willing to purchase clothes for them, right? Clothes for their kids. So both of these reasons were why FirstCry India sales didn't do well. Now not just this, if you look at in terms of stores, na, in Q3FY25, if you look at it, they had around 508 stores as of 9 months, okay, totally, okay. Now out of this, if you see, right, they have closed 38 stores, right? They've added 115 stores, net store 77 hai, but they've closed 38 stores. And this is the first time since the time of inception, since the start of FirstCry, this is the first time they've closed these stores. These are Coco stores. Unka franchise hai both Coco and Foco, but mostly to Coco only. Franchise is not that much. But yahan par bhi unka 38 Coco stores has been closed. Now why has a Coco store been closed? Because see, whenever you open a store, there is some certain targets, na, isme itna period mein break even hona chahiye, it has to collect so much revenue, itna customers say, we have to have that wallet share. These stores that were there, they were operating in that kind of areas where, the wallet share wasn't that great, where the customer, where the customer visit was not that great, where the stores were not really performing up to the mark, right? What the standards, that the internal targets that are there, it was not there. So as a result, it made sense for them to like shut down the stores in these areas and open it in other areas. So that is why they have done it. Now coming back to FirstCry International, iska bhi wahi halat hai. There is not much difference. Sales up by 13%, GMV up by 11%, and order is up by 9%. ठीक है. Now over here, if you look at it, कि like यहाँ पे, so we can understand कि like ठीक है, India में तो winter का winter was delayed, winter का sale इतना नहीं हुआ, festivities were delayed. But international sales में ये भी like, why didn't the international sales grow, right? Like India में problem है, we understand that. But what was the reason कि like तुम्हारे international sales also didn't grow, faster than India sales? India sales 15% hai, international sales 13% hai. So what is the reason over here? And if you guys remember, this is, I believe, a couple of quarters we've seen that international sales has been a bit of a laggard, right? It's not really picking up at that rate, right? So what is the cause over here? International sales में भी वही है कि like especially in the Middle East, these people are very prominent, okay? And यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? There are a lot of horizontal brands. Now what are horizontal brands? Horizontal brands are those brands, let's say, they're not focused in kids wear. Like FirstCry is only for kids and expecting mothers. Now there could be some like let's say for example Zara, okay? Zara is mostly for men and women, right? But even they have that kids wear, but they're not exclusively for kids. This is what we call as horizontal vertical, okay? Horizontal, non-horizontal competitiveness या horizontal company हम बोलते हैं, जो आके यहाँ पे टक्कर देता है, competition देता है एक exclusively जो kids का company है, ठीक है? So those people have entered the market, जो भी एक men और women को cater करता है, they've entered even into the kids market, and they have done aggressive marketing in terms of this OND month. And remember one thing, OND months are really great for any company in the B2C area in the international waters, is because during October, November and December we have this Black Friday sale, Thanksgiving hota hai, Christmas hota hai. So even because of these things now, it is a very especially the month of November, it is a very, very strong season for all these companies, okay? But in spite of that, you clock 13% ka sale, is because a lot of emerging brands that are there, whether it is horizontal or vertical brand, they have come up and they have done aggressive marketing, because of which और इनका कह रहा है कि like we are at that point, we want to focus on profitability, इतना aggressive marketing करके we don't want to get the bottom line crushed. We don't want to put the pressure on bottom line. But here is the thing, right? In the business, when you talk about it, you need both. You don't want growth to come at the cost of profitability, but also at the same time I don't want profitability to come at the cost of growth. Okay, now you see over here at यहाँ पे Brainbees का क्या हो रहा था? Earlier until now there was growth, but वहाँ पे losses जो था it was big, but now we are seeing losses are narrowing, but having said that the growth rate has come down. Okay, so that is the thing. Overall I would say it is an okay update. उतना कुछ हो नहीं रहा है इस company में. I was really happy looking at the bottom line. The bottom line is getting better because it's a fantastic company. Okay, there is scope over here. But having said that, when the growth rate has come to 13%, I mean, like, it becomes a bit of a uninteresting proposition over here. Okay, so let us wait and see until Q4 also kya hota hai. Who knows, the growth can come back over here, right? Maybe this, again, like this entire OND month has been, not that of a great season. Who knows, the sales could pick up in the months of Q4, right? And another thing is management also, they kept repeatedly telling, like, look at us with Q2 and Q3 combined, or look at us from a 9-month perspective. Don't look at from a Q3 on Q3 perspective. But unfortunately, that is not how market sees, right? So that is one thing to be noted down. Okay. Now the other company we'll be doing is Vishal Mega Mart. Okay. So Vishal Mega Mart, as you know, I would say it is not much of a retail company over here, but it is much more of a consumer discretionary. It is like a modern grocery store slash retail company. You can, the appropriate comparison with Vishal Mart would be D Mart, yeah, Avenue Supermarkets. And those people who tell no, I don't know why you all tell you don't want to compare Avenue Supermarts with Vishal Mega Mart. If that is the case, I would suggest you ek baar jao, go outside of your house, do some scuttlebutt, visit once Avenue Supermart ka store and once visit Vishal Mega Mart ka store. You will understand. The only difference is when you enter D Mart, first you will find groceries, and in the upper floor or on the later end you will find latter part of the store you'll find clothes. Versus in Vishal Mega Mart, when you enter first you'll find clothes, third floor या आपको later part of the store में आपको वो groceries वो सब मिलेगा. ठीक है, and थोड़ा बहुत mix है in change. When I tell mix, I would say with D-Mart, Avenue Supermart caters more towards your FMCG kind of goods, right? Versus Vishal Mega Mart caters more towards your apparels, that kind. That is a little bit product mix ka change made is difference. But having said that, inka business model is completely the same. Like, they want to provide you with the most affordable product, and in fact, Vishal Mega Mart is literally cheaper than even Avenue Supermarts. Like, I just did a scuttlebutt because I do find Vishal Mega Mart ka stores over here in Bangalore, and honestly, like, there is no difference whether it is in terms of layout of the store, whether it is in terms of the products that they sell. It is all the it is literally all the same. जैसे मैंने बोला, आपको पहले विशाल मेगा मार्ट में कपड़ा मिलेगा, फिर आपको वो all that grocery items मिलेगा डी मार्ट में उल्टा होता है. That is the only difference over here. But overall, literally I would say the business, like the way they are catering to affordable category को ही वो लोग cater करे, product भी ऑलमोस्ट द सेम ही है. ठीक है, लाइक एक थोड़ा सस्ता है, एक थोड़ा इट इज लिटरली द सेम. ठीक है, नाउ ओवर हियर लेट अस टॉक अबाउट विशाल मेगा मार्ट. अगर आप देखते हो 45% ऑफ द रेवेन्यू कम्स फ्रॉम अपैरल्स. ओके, एंड जनरल मर्चेंडाइज से उनका अराउंड 27-29 आते हैं. जनरल मर्चेंडाइज व्हेन आई टेल इट इज योर टॉयज, यूटेंसिल्स, होम टेक्सटाइल, योर होम फर्निशिंग आइटम्स, एंड FMCG कम्स अराउंड 27 to 28. नाउ यहाँ पे ऑल्सो FMCG में ऑल्सो दे हैव देयर ओन ब्रांड्स. खुद का भी एक ब्रांड है कॉल्ड इज फर्स्ट क्रॉप, and they have other people's brand also that they sell. And totally, if you look at it, combining all the three categories, if you look at it, the own brand ka share in their company 70%, that is the private label brand, and the other 30% is the third party or other brands that are there. Okay, now over here also you will see the result is good because the company has always told like we will grow by 20%. That is the target, that is what we are aiming for, and that's exactly what they have done. When you look over Q3 or on a 9-month perspective, when you look, you see that the sales has grown by 19.5%, and agar aap PAT dekhte ho, PAT has grown by 28% respectively. ठीक है, now over here good amount of operating leverage है. SSG अगर आप देखते हो, SSG is at 10.5% for Q3, quite good because any retail it is very hard to clock SSG more than 8, high single digit. 8 to 9% you can expect. Anything more than that is really good considering the kind of environment that we are in, right? So SSG is good at 11% 20% for 9 month and 10.5% for Q3. ठीक है. अगर आप stores भी देखते हो, stores are also in Q3 they've added 23 stores and around 668 stores that are there. So very fantastic update. I wouldn't say it is it is the best or anything, but good. Jo bola, whatever the management has told, they walked the talk, especially considering it is their first quarter since IPO, right? And they've been able to walk the talk, right? No, absolutely no problem. And even in terms of the guidance that they had given, the guidance was they will achieve around 11,200 crores, that the 11,150 crores in revenue, 25% ka KCAR bola tha. So 11,150 crores in revenue, 5% PAT margin, which is around 550 crores in PAT you should expect in this year. अगर आप 9 months का देखते हो, 9 months का total sale is around 8,200 crores, and if you look at the PAT is around 516 crore for 9 months. So I believe that one quarter that we have, Jan, Feb and March, it will be easy for them to achieve the targets that they have laid out, right? So overall, good set of results, nothing to complain over here. Acha kiya hai, because see, now we are in that place where the inflation, especially with respect to food, with respect to the consumer discretionary, everything is high over here. You will see most of the companies, especially in the premium and the mid premium space, you will see those companies are really suffering, right, because of this inflation and everything, right? It's becoming very hard for them to operate at the conditions that they are doing. And irrespective of these conditions, for these people to be opening 20 stores odd in this quarter, also to be growing at 20%, really great. The only thing my concern over here is the valuation it got listed has been a bit supreme, right? It got listed only, I would say, at around that 1 year forward PE is around 80 to 85. Even now, if you consider 5% PAT margin, 25% ka KCAR over the year, the 1 year forward PE comes up to 80 to 85. So the question to you is, will you be paying 80 to 85 times in earnings for, let's say, 20 to 25% ka growth engine? That is something you'll have to answer. But overall, if I compare with Vishal Mega Mart, with Avenue Supermart, I would say Vishal Mega Mart is leading the race compared to Avenue Supermart. I know growth में उतना कुछ फर्क नहीं है. Avenue Supermart has done 16 to 17% versus Vishal Mega Mart, but you need to understand one thing. Vishal Mega Mart has sustained its pace of growth, whereas D Mart or Avenue Supermart, uska jo growth rate hai, the growth rate has continuously slipped, right? That is one thing. Even in terms of store expansion bhi agar aap dekhte ho, it is not that great with Avenue Supermarts. Iska bhi utna kuch khas nahi hai, right? Almost I think iska store expansion ka rate aa raha hai around 6 to 9%. But overall, with wo thoda 19-20 ka fark hai, and in that way you can tell Vishal Mega Mart is leading the race. Okay, so that's it about these two companies, both Vishal Mega Mart and Brainbees over here, right? Both good set. I wouldn't say good set for Brainbees, but Vishal Mega Mart is good. I mean, there is a bit of hope over here. Hope, what would be really nice is if we can see that the volumes that are there over here, right, with Vishal Mega Mart, we see a immense, because see, Vishal Mega Mart is catering to affordable category, affordable range, everything affordable. So इनका यहाँ पे price hike का उतना कुछ है नहीं. They do not have that pricing power. Okay, that is there. Okay, so only thing they can do is really strive out in terms of volumes. They need to be able to do more volumes than what they did the last year. And if they are able to do that, get a little bit aggressive in terms of store opening, and can increase the pace of sales growth that is there a little bit up, it would be really great. It would be really great, right? So overall, good set of numbers by Vishal Mega Mart, nothing to complain. Brainbees will have to, I would say, okay, we'll have to wait and watch until Q4 and see, if they can bounce back, because I understand Q3 could be a little bit of anomaly because of the conditions that they are in. But I would like to see FirstCry, bounce back, to the 25% growth engine, and we see that the losses that are there, it narrows down and ultimately it becomes a profitable company. Okay, so that's it with both Vishal Mega Mart and FirstCry. I will see you again in another video where we'll be talking about the few other fashion apparel companies. Okay, that's it, guys. Take care. Bye.